Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Indices, and starting with the S&P on the weekly chart here. As you know, we've been looking at the move up from the low here as 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave. The fourth wave here didn't quite pull back to the wave 4 of one lesser degree, and some stocks are like that as well. But we do have an ABC correction in here, so we've been working it off the low, and that seems to be going sort of okay, and things are looking quite good. The PPI figures, the producers' figures were negative and positive for the market. We've got some CPI figures coming out in the next session for the US markets as well. So if this is correct here, and we do understand that wave 4s can get complicated out of the dozen different types of corrections, they can all happen in wave 4s. So we could end up with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. So we have to be concerned about a B wave up here for this as well. However, if this is correct here, which is a bit of a long shot as well, wave 2 being complicated in the guideline of alternation would make wave 4 simple. And the main reason that I've got this sitting here for is really because of stocks. Because if we have a look at one of the leading stocks to the upside, this is Meta Platforms here, and I'm saying leading because it didn't drop much in the correction as such, and it's sticking to the 500 here, and it's one of the stocks that is really quite close to the previous high here. So it's highly likely that we're going to be breaching this high here, and if we're going to be breaching this high here, well then obviously the next trend has started at that point. Now, some stocks have dropped quite deeply and haven't really sort of recovered that much, but they're getting there. Everything's sort of slowly sort of falling in the right sort of place. So we'll continue with this wave 4 being in low here, but we'll be mindful of that B wave to the upside. Going into the daily chart here, if we were looking, we've got an ABC pattern here for this. If we were looking for a B wave here, then it would come in, that's the little pocket there, and if it was going to come in, it'll come in at that 5,500 where we've got this consolidation and this consolidation here where there will be supply there, supply just meaning sellers. So that's the problem area at that point. So we've got two problems. We've got that and we've got the CPI figures coming in. So we'll just need to chill and see if we can put the patterns together. But everything is looking pretty good at this stage. If we go into the intraday section here, we've been looking at the move to the upside, excuse all my work over here, but basically the ABC pattern here and 1 and 2 here, and then looking for 1 and 2 here. So the PPI figures have pushed the market up nicely. The other little thing here that I've been speaking about and toying about was putting wave 1 over here for this here, and then looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up here. So we're going to have a little look at that on the intraday. So from this low here, we could look at this as 1 and 2 in here, a little third wave coming up in here. Obviously, we're going to have problems at the little pocket, the 61.8% or 62 to 65, and then we get something like this. So even in a bearish case, we would need to get this here as well. At least something like that. So we still got a little bit further to go to the upside before we need to be worried about the B wave at that point. And yeah, so that's where we are. So we put wave 1 here. We can also put wave 1 here as well. So I'm just sort of toying with that at the moment. And if we move in here a little bit further to 20,000 to 1,000 and pick it up in these current lows here, we've got the 1 and 2 here. This is where I left off yesterday with with 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 here, and looking for an ABC. Didn't really pull down as much as we wanted it to, but we did have a little ABC here. So it's sort of, yeah, this is why I'm thinking that we could actually have wave 1 over here, which we'll look at in a moment. And this little move to the upside is, we'll just continue to the upside here, of course. And of course, those CPI figures, we'll expect Asia up and Europe up as well. I mean, Europe, the English have got CPI figures coming out in the next session first up as well. So they will be the first ones out of the gate, and then the US have got have got their core CPI figures coming out. So I think that just to re-look at this count here, I've gone to, I think I was looking at this on this chart here. Yeah, so this is just a little bit different, but for the diehards, to get this right here. So we've got wave 2 here with 1 and 2 here, and then looking at this is 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third, the fourth, the fifth for the third, the fourth, the fifth for the 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here. So into this here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2, 3, ABC for 4, up for 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here, and then building a case here further up in this situation here. So yeah, so any long trades you got in these, just continue to hold in this case. So I'm just looking at it in two different ways. At least both counts are in the same direction, so that's always nice in that point. So moving out of the S&P over to the Nasdaq, the same situation again, the wave 4 here that has pulled closer back to the wave 4, one lesser degree, which is nice. In this case, we're looking for wave 4 and 5 up here to make wave 1 and ABC for wave 2. Pay no attention to the dates or how far this is going to pull back. It may just pull back to the wave 4s of one lesser degree here. It may even be shallower as well. This one here was quite deep, so we may get a deep one here as well. It's an unknown. We just have to track it. But basically, this particular pattern here, we're looking for a classic trading levels pattern at this particular level. So this is the pattern that we're looking for. We've got the arrival already, and normally this is wave 3 that comes up for the arrival and the reaction for wave 4, and then up for wave 5 here, the first high above the level. This will also be in 5 waves here, of course, and then an ABC for well, this here could be, this could be another wave 4, so 3, 4, 5 up here for a third wave and back for a fourth wave. Or we could have it, if we're at the beginning of a trend, it could also be up for 1 and back for 2 at that point. But in this case, we're looking up for 1 and back for 2. So we're going to bring it back to the wave 4, and it'll be chasing stops there. So it'll probably click those out and gather a bit of demand at that point and head up. So yeah, but basically this particular pattern, and at the moment we're basically right here in the pattern. So we need to do here, and this is why we're building in long positions in stock and indices and so on, and that's where we are. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then some sort of ABC pattern over here. Take this from the weekly chart to the daily chart, and we're looking at this being an ABC pattern here as well. I also understand that moving up here, we go into the first block of supply here. All those opens and closes are here, so that's going to be a bit of an issue, and so on. So we can have a B wave sitting over here at the 61.8%. So I get that as well. This wave 4 could become more complicated. I get it. So we just, it's like I say, we're going long. We've called in the low. We work it up. We're just trying to look for evidence as it moves up. The evidence was pretty sort of shaky. The count could be corrective or impulsive, but we stayed with the bullish count based on stock, and we built into stock in long trades. But we're not out of the woods yet, so we still need to continue to work through all of this. Let's go to the intraday here for a moment, and yeah, so the whole move down here, I can use that, we can use that up here. Let me just get this into a little bit of focus here and so on. So let me just, so we've got that wave 3 up there. We can look for get some understanding of we're at the 50% here where this supply starts in here, and the 61.62% and 65%, which is this little area here at 19.5. It will be the problem area for this. And once again, we're looking up as 1 and 2. I can count this as 1 and 2 to here. I could also put wave 1 and 2 to here as well. So I still need to do a little bit of work on that. But everything's going according to plan on the 500 here. We've also got a classic trading levels pattern here as well, with the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. Just didn't drop down, that's all from that point. If we go into the 1000 ticks, we'll pick it up here on this in terms of, let's get some data into this here. So we've got this low here as 1 and 2, and once again, I can look at 1 and 2 to here, or 1 and 2 to here for this. So this one here, I haven't updated it totally at this point, but the 19,000 we'll see, it'll spend a little bit of time here, of course, and then we've got the CPI figures coming out as well. So, but we'll just hold long at this point with the Nasdaq. And then some of the weaker stocks, obviously this will be affected by the CPI figures, the Russell here. It's definitely sort of affected by inflation figures, but we should see this, if those CPI figures are going to be healthy for this market, then we're going to see this kind of move off really quite nicely in here. So the normal thing here would be for us, I thought we had a position over here on this, but anyway, you can go long at this point. The other point here is that if you get the opportunity, you could actually get a little classic trading levels pattern sitting here, but if those CPI figures are going to be good, you're not going to get much of a chance at this point, and what will happen, because there's resistance here, but then it's quite clear from this point until you get to this point. So markets have a memory. So all those orders sitting there, aren't they? I mean, people that have held these losses here, once they get to break even, the first thing, most likely, if they're newbies, they'll be wanting to get out to get rid of the pain, But anyway, just keep building in on this. It's, it is what it is, but those CPI figures will really give that a jolt. Over to the DAX, this is a weekly chart here. I do need to bring it into, the same count as the S&P. They normally sort of flow together. They can be, weeks out at a time. I understand all of that. But they're pretty much sort of chuffing along together here at the moment. And I mean, the next big step for this market here is to get support on the 18,000. So it's going to have trouble doing that because all the supply is sitting at that point there. So that's where the battle will be. Adding any long positions at this point would be, really above that level at this point. Stochastics are looking good. But the same sort of picture here, really. If all's going well, up for wave 5 and some sort of ABC that can come down to the low here, can be shorter, can take it out. All of those things we just don't know, and it could be swift, and so don't worry about what time or price over here. Sure, we can do all the ratios and all the rest of it, but at the end of the day, we just need to track the actual count to manage that. So going from that to the daily chart, and we can see this moving out. So the 18 here, as I mentioned, we need to get support. That's really the next big thing. If it's going to fail, that's where it's going to fail at, isn't it? It's like a brick wall there for this market. On the intraday basis, looking at this moving to the upside here from that wave 4, I've counted it up as 1 and 2, no change, 1 and 2 here, and then we're counting as 1 and 2, nice 5-wave structure here for 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2 here. Didn't quite pull back to the 61.8%. That's okay, nor did the Nasdaq or the other one, the S&P. So this should just continue to push to the upside here on this. I don't see any sort of problems. This will be a little 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here, and some pullback. Once you make a new high, it likes to come back and test it. It's like a high here, it's coming back and testing it. It's like walking upstairs, isn't it? So it needs to find that support and resistance, that supply and demand. But this is going to get a little bit messy here at the 18 here. But so if you want to take any money off the table at this point, then the 18 is it. If you want to hold these positions and build on above that, then that's what we'll be doing at that stage. Come over to the FTSE here, and same thing as well. I want to tie it into this 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and up 5 and back again here. Now this market can also wander off as well. It's got its own issues, but yeah, so that's it really. So it looks like it's sort of heading in the right direction. So on the daily chart with this here, we're looking at wave 3 with an ABC for wave 4. It's moving up quite nicely here, isn't it? So doing all the right things. So looking at we want to work out the 61.8% from this top to this low here and find out where that is. We'll be very, very close. And then also from this top here as well. So we'll have 2 targets up here that we need to be mindful of. And then we'll gravitate over to the closest, largest number. So just picking it up from this wave 4 here on the low here. And that's that. And so those 2 areas that I pointed out, one was here and the other one is here for this. So really we can gravitate over to the 18.3 and the 8,300, and this is the 8's not important, the 300 is important. It's part of group 1 of the 8,000, so 1, 2 and 3 minor levels, and this is the top of minor group 1. If we can get a tested support on top of that level here, then the market won't be pulled by this number. While this is not the support, then it still belongs to this number. When we get a classic trading levels pattern on this number and it's triggered a long trade, then it's separated, severed itself from any pull from this number. The move up here can be counted as corrective, like all the markets can. I should have gone into that a little bit more. We could have this as an A, B, C here for the A wave, for example, a B wave here, and then a C wave here. And then the distance from this, the A wave, would have some sort of equality in terms of distance to the wave C up here. I'm not dyslexic, I'm just an idiot. So there we go. So that would be having a bit of equality between those wave A and wave C at that point. So getting support on this number here with the classic trading level pattern makes it bullish at that point, and that's really where we need to get to. And then we come over to the Australian market, so much the same here, pushing up here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. We could also look at this as an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave coming up to here. So I've had this here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then a third wave here and a third and fourth and a fifth up to here. I can bring this up to here. With the other markets, US markets, we got wave 1 sitting over here as well. So a little bit mindful of that. Now this is the target area up here for this. So today is Wednesday here, so Wednesday. So Thursday's got a habit. Wednesday's a bit like this here, where you come down in the morning session and go up in the afternoon session. Thursday can come straight down, or Thursday can go up a little bit, open higher, and then trade lower. And then we look for the market to shore up on the Thursday afternoon, where we can get some positions, and then we're looking for Friday to be bullish and Monday to be bullish. That's the bullish weekly cycle. So we're looking over here for some sort of movement up at this point. So you have to, if you're long in this, you'll just have to figure out what you're going to do, and taking some money off before this big number 8,000 up here, because 8 is the third strongest number, 1, 5, 8 and then 3. So yeah, I mean, you kind of want to lighten the load up here anyway, so this is a good place to do it. And from here we've got 1 and 2. I mean, it could be part of wave 4 over here too, I guess, but it's a little bit wonky. No, it's a 5-way structure. It's just got a bit of overlap. So it'd be a 3, 4, 5 up here. So this would be a good place to lock in some money at this point. I think there was something going on. No, that's New Zealand. I've got some cash rates coming out. I think we had some employment figures coming out here. That's tomorrow. Just some employment figures coming out tomorrow. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.